Today on FCT Environment Update, we talk about you and your environment.
This Abuja fine no be small. Now you make plenty tourists them they like to visit this our city. Because of that, we must to make sure say everywhere they clean every time. Make we dey cut grass and flower them wey don't grow for our house. Throw away dirty and yamayama inside dustbin. No spoil air with black smoke. That one fit cause sickness for body. If you see sockaway wey don full, make you call Abuja Environmental Protection Board quick. No follow them fight oh. Now they work then they do. Now offense to sell market for road, they beg or even do opio for night. If they catch you, you go hear am. Make we join hand together with Abuja Environmental Protection Board to see say Abuja dey clean well. Make we pay our service charge every month to make sure say Abuja dey cha-cha.
Now the FCT United Nations Development Assistance Framework, UNDAF 2, they bring una this message. The Abuja Environmental Protection Board, AEPB, has purchased 12 motorized sweepers for major roads in the city. The head of the Department of Waste Management of the board, Mr. Ahmed Hamis, says the provision of the motorized sweepers was to eliminate the dangers encountered by people engaged to clean up the major roads within the city. He said that a training program would be organized on how to operate the machines before deploying the facilities to the streets. He pointed out that none of the people engaged as sweepers would be laid off, as they would still be left to work on other streets.
Abuja is a beautiful city and the preferred tourist destination in Africa. Let us keep our environment clean by trimming flowers and cutting grass around us regularly. Dispose of our refuse in waste bins and stop all forms of environmental pollution because they are injurious to our health. Report bleeding manhole to the appropriate authorities and disease from illegal connection to sewage lines. Hawking, trading, and begging on the streets of Abuja are prohibited. So also is prostitution. Do not harass AEPB staff members in the line of duty. If you are caught, you will face the law. If we cultivate a culture of a clean environment and pay our environmental service charge promptly, Abuja will remain the pride of all Nigerians.
This message is proudly sponsored by the FCT United Nations Development Assistance Framework, UNDAF 2. The Abuja Environmental Protection Board, AEPB, is striving to provide a clean, hygienic, and sustainable environment for the well-being of the present and future generations. This is in line with the vision of the FCT administration to build a world-class city comparable to other first-class cities in the world. AEPB is therefore committed to a national environmental policy that will ensure sustainable development. This demands a positive and realistic planning that will secure a balance between human needs against the carrying capacity of the FCT environment. The AEPB is responsible for waste collection and disposal, landfill development, monitoring of cleaning contractors, maintenance of the central sewer lines, evacuation of septic tanks, drainage stormwater control, maintenance of treatment plants and aerators, rehabilitation of degraded sites, management of incidental open spaces, cemeteries, etc., conservation of biodiversity, house-to-house inspection, vector and pest control services, and the abatement of nuisance in the Federal Capital Territory. Mrs. Aishat Adebayo has been here since the board was established in 1989. She has at different times headed all the operational departments of the AEPB and therefore has cognate practical experience to move the board forward. Now, as the acting director, she plans to move the Abuja Environmental Protection Board to another level.
The AEPB has come a long way since it was established in 1989 and also with an act in 1997. And I've been around for quite some time. I've seen the challenges in this organization. So my plan is to make sure that I move this organization to another level. We labor a lot in this organization. Our day starts like 6 o'clock, and at times we do close till 10 p.m. So, and I have seen that for our labor, for staff to be motivated to work more, we need to drive revenue. We need to drive revenue, make sure that we improve on our revenue base and the enforcement for payment, so that we can be able to fight for better services for our workers. So it is my plan in this organization to make sure that we drive revenue, make sure that residents and commercial properties, they pay the AEPB bills, so that we'll be able to fight for better budget, so that my staff can be motivated to deliver more in all the areas that we are rendering services. Is it for waste management? Is it for environmental impact assessment and environmental audit processes, for environmental conservation, even for the enforcement squad and the people that work in enforcement, the officers that work in enforcement, they do long hours of work. And with the type of system we are running, there's a limit to which you can pay over time. But I believe that by the time I leave, by the grace of God, I should have been able to put this organization in a better level, so that staff are motivated to do more. Also, in terms of providing infrastructure, the requisite infrastructure for our service delivery, for all the services that we render. We know that there is no magic to waste collection. We must have the requisite infrastructure on ground. Yes, we have tried, but we are yet to reach there. And I believe that I will make the administration to understand the importance of this infrastructure, so that from the waste receptacle to having an engineered landfill site for waste management and other support facilities that we need to make sure that our work is delivered in an easier way. These are my plans.
Mrs. Adebayo is a hard worker. As soon as she was confirmed as the acting director, she conducted a cleanup exercise at some city dumps and inspected some strategic locations in the city center. She has also introduced a monthly special cleanup day. This is not another monthly sanitation, but a day set aside for the management and staff of the AEPB to practically move into the streets, neighborhoods, and selected public places to supervise cleanup activities and mobilize residents to clean up their immediate environment. Most importantly, movement will not be restricted during the period. Now she is collaborating with other government offices like the FCT Transport Secretariat to ensure that the level of sanity achieved in locations like the Wuse Market is sustained.
What I'm doing right now is to try to consolidate on the achievement of my predecessor. Like there was a cleanup in Wuse Market this morning. We started with collaboration from Transport Secretariat to make sure that that level of sanity in Wuse Market does not deteriorate. So we started enforcing again today. I've been to the market. I'm very happy. The place is the traffic is flowing very well. I'm happy about that one. And I also I'm also having a plan on how we can sustainably remove the hawkers from the streets. But I cannot mention the program now until I have an approval to implement. Then we start advertising it. My greatest joy will be to, when I leave this organization, for service delivery to be easier, for workers to be happy working for government. This will be my greatest achievement, in addition to the sustainable removal of hawkers from the streets. I've set up a task team with 2 buses to go round to daily to remove the beggars from the streets. And when we take these beggars, we hand them over to the Social Development Secretariat, who are in charge of rehabilitations, whatever they want to do. Our own is just to assist in removing them from the streets. So we are also working in that area.
In a bid to protect the environment from all factors capable of jeopardizing the health of Abuja residents and visitors alike, the Environmental Health and Safety Department of the Abuja Environmental Protection Board has been involved in community sanitation exercises across the FCT. Successful community sanitation exercise programs have been carried out in various locations, including Utako, Jabi, and Kabusa villages. The main objective of of the program is to empower the local communities to devise an affordable and sustainable approach to handling their sanitation needs themselves.
We visited communities, carried out community sensitization and sanitation, after which we now encourage the community to set up community-based sanitation groups. Because what we do with them, by then we carry out the process with them, the process of sanitation. But we know that if we don't put anything on ground, by the time we go, they will not continue. So the use of that place are encouraged to form a community-based sanitation group, at the end of which it is their duty to be able to be carrying out sanitation on regular basis. And any problem they encounter, they should report back to the headquarters. In fact, they are registered with the headquarters here. The headquarters has encouraged them by providing vests for some communities. We know their names, we have their data. So from time to time, we go to visit them, and if you have any problem, they come to us. But when we go out for such communities, we emphasize on quite a lot of things. The most important of which is the environment. Most of the communities, we tell them to keep their environment clean. We discover that we look into their drinking water. Most of them don't have good drinking water. We tell them the importance of making sure that their water is clean. Those who don't have boreholes, we encourage them to boil the water they drink. Quite a lot of them may not have toilets, because we will come to the implications of this later. We encourage them to have toilets and make sure that the toilets are not close to their boreholes, so that there will be no seepage. Because you see somebody having a borehole here and very close to it again, he has a toilet. Invariably, the water is drinking might be contaminated. So as much as possible, we try to tell them to be clean when it comes to these areas. Then there are some areas, some communities we have visited also, that they don't have sufficient land to construct toilets within where they are living. So we encourage those communities to build public toilets and mandate a group of people to take care of it. They do some minimal charges so that they make sure that they pay those who take care of the toilets, make sure they're clean and prevent spreading of diseases.
Up next, shocking findings during house-to-house inspections by environmental health officers and what you can do to protect your immediate environment.
This Abuja fine no be small. Now you make plenty tourists them they like to visit this our city. Because of that, we must to make sure say everywhere they clean every time. Make we dey cut grass and flower them wey don't grow for our house. Throw away dirty and yamayama inside dustbin. No spoil air with black smoke. That one fit cause sickness for body. If you see sockaway wey don full, make you call Abuja Environmental Protection Board quick. No follow them fight oh. Now they work then they do. Now offense to sell market for road, they beg or even do opio for night. If they catch you, you go hear am. Make we join hand together with Abuja Environmental Protection Board to see say Abuja dey clean well. Make we pay our service charge every month to make sure say Abuja dey cha-cha.
Now the FCT United Nations Development Assistance Framework, UNDAF 2, they bring on this message.
My fellow Nigerians or Abuja citizens, it is very critical that you assist us so that we can assist you. You need to do the right things so that we can also equally do the right thing. Start managing this waste right from your household. Make sure you provide proper containers for your house to collect this waste and make sure you dispose of it properly. Don't allow all these scavengers to come and destroy your waste bin. You are the owners of these waste bins. Make sure you maintain them and make sure people don't abuse them. Because at the end of the day, you will end up buying them. So please, just make sure you collect your waste properly. If necessary, use plastic bags. Tie the bags properly before you put them into the waste bin. When we come, it's a lot easier for us to remove them. But we assure you of improved service if you can provide us this cooperation.
The Abuja Environmental Protection Board is stressing the need for residents to be conscious of their environment and join hands with the FCT administration to protect it. APB health officers have come across some harmful practices that endanger the health of residents, and they are determined to enforce compliance before such practices pose environmental dangers to their neighbors.
One important thing we have also discovered during this process of our community sanitations is poor ventilation. Most people live in homes that are not adequately ventilated, and without proper ventilation, one is prone to a lot of sicknesses. If you listen very carefully, in some parts of up north, you discover that there are incidences of meningitis. It is as a result of heat and poor ventilation. In fact, we tell those within the FCT we have visited to make sure their houses are not poorly ventilated. Okay, we emphasize on that because of the incidence of meningitis and spreading of other diseases. Even when you live in a room that is not well ventilated with somebody who is having tuberculosis, it's likely the other neighbor there could contract it. Because people not form the habit of how to maybe cough and cover their mouth and all those. They share cough, they share everything together. Now, coming to pace of public health importance, they are quite numerous. I get scared when I get into the town, into the communities, I see dogs. It gives me a lot of concern. In fact, I fear dogs more than I fear HIV/AIDS. Okay? Because all over the world, not more than 2% of patients with rabies have survived. Doctors will tell you this. It is not yet, no cure has been discovered for real rabies. Whereas for HIV, you can manage yourself for some years before you die. And rabies is a very kind of funny sickness because if dog bites you now, the incubation period could be very long, could last from 3 months to more than 9 months. You will think you are free. Then it will manifest later. It will take. There's only an experienced doctor, or is there only a doctor who will be able to, when he sees the symptoms you are presented, he will now ask you, was there any time you had dog bite and all that? You might have forgotten. So our people should learn to vaccinate their dogs, please. Those dogs that are not vaccinated, APB is arresting their owners on daily basis. And we are not taking it lightly because we know the public health importance of vaccinating these dogs. We know that it is very dangerous to health. Rabies is quite a dreadful disease all over the world. And like I said, it's very terrible when somebody has a dog bite. Okay? And APB is not taking it lightly. When we see areas with dogs that do not have evidence of vaccination, usually when they are vaccinated, they are supposed to have license somewhere by their neck and all that. So we are taking the authorities of APBs, making sure that we get rid of stray dogs within the FCT as much as possible.
APB has environmental health officers who move from house to house, sensitizing the entire communities and mobilizing them to clean their surroundings, giving health talks on proper disposal of refuse and basic hygiene principles, and habits such as washing of hands after using the convenience. Now, here is more environmental and health protection tips.
We need adequate ventilation. People should be vaccinated, though that's not our job to go and vaccinate, but we tell them why they have to live in a clean environment, well ventilated. This will help them in some of these diseases. Waterborne diseases, we know of cholera. Okay, we know we speak to them from time to time, talk to them about their drinking water. Without proper drinking water, it is very difficult to lead a healthy life. Cholera is one funny sickness that once you contract it now, the stool enters water. As many people as drink that water, they will contract the disease immediately. It is quite a dreadful sickness, and it kills a lot of people. So we try to encourage our people to be able to keep the environment clean, abstain from bad drinking water. Polio, if you have a very good environment, polio that's right now all over the world, they say that it's only in Nigeria, Pakistan, and Afghanistan that you have polio. These 3 countries, it has been eradicated all over the world. Well, let us say that Pakistan and Afghanistan, they are war-ravaged countries, but Nigeria, we are not at war. As such, we are not at war. But I think if we're able to put in more to make sure that our environment is clean, most likely we are going to eradicate most of these things, including polio. Yes.
To make our service delivery easier, I want all residents to buy a waste receptacle, a waste bin, where you can put your waste, because it is faster for us to remove when our contractors come, when the waste is inside the receptacle. And when the waste is on the ground, it causes a lot of degradation. So the first step I want them to do, they should make sure the waste bins are available here. We have the 240-liter bins. We have negotiated it down. It's 18,000 naira per bin. Each resident, make sure that you have a bin for your house. In addition, make sure you pay our service charge. It is affordable. Pay this service charge so that we can be able to render better services for you. Then the third point is that make sure you don't involve yourself in attitude that leads to degradation of the environment. In your house where you live, make sure the house is very clean. Don't constitute a nuisance to your neighbor. When God has blessed you and you bought new furniture, can't use that old one to bless another people. Don't constitute a nuisance by making them like a junk where it will be a breeding space for rats, especially in the high-rise buildings. Cooperate together to make sure that your immediate environment is very, very clean. This is all we ask. And then this attitude of indiscriminate defecation and urination, degrading the environment, polluting the environment. Please, when you are pressed, walk up to a facility, a shopping center, a market, a hotel, a filling station, or some of the public conveniences facilities that we have in the city. Go and use these conveniences. Some of them are free, and some of them you just pay a stipend, 10 naira, 20 naira. We have what we call the global warming with the consequence, the climatic change. We know the flooding that happened in many places in the country last year, and we are appealing to residents and also park owners whose properties are abutting river courses. Don't encroach on the river course. You are running a park, have your own waste bin. Don't empty your waste in the river, inside in the river course, because when the rain comes, water must find a way to flow, and we don't want anybody to be a casualty.
Abuja is a beautiful city and the preferred tourist destination in Africa. Let us keep our environment clean by trimming flowers and cutting grass around us regularly. Dispose of our refuse in waste bins and stop all forms of environmental pollution because they are injurious to our health. Report bleeding manhole to the appropriate authorities and disease from illegal connection to sewage lines. Hawking, trading, and begging on the streets of Abuja are prohibited. So also is prostitution. Do not harass AEPB staff members in the line of duty. If you are caught, you will face the law. If we cultivate a culture of a clean environment and pay our environmental service charge promptly, Abuja will remain the pride of all Nigerians.
This message is proudly sponsored by the FCT United Nations Development Assistance Framework UNDAF 2.